You ever wake up in a place that feels wrong? Not because it's dirty or dangerous, but because every corner hums with something invisible, like the walls themselves are holding their breath. That's exactly how it felt when I checked into that hotel. It was an old building on the edge of town, the kind of place with faded wallpaper and carpets that reeked faintly of mold, no matter how much bleach they used. The receptionist barely looked at me, eyes sunken, skin pale under the yellow lobby lights. I remember thinking that her silence wasn't rude, it was survival. Like words might attract something she didn't want near her. I got my key, room 305, and walked down the endless hallway. The lights flickered every few seconds, leaving the corridor in pitch darkness before buzzing back alive. Each step I took echoed too loudly, like the building was hollow inside. That first night, I couldn't sleep. Around 3 a.m., I heard it. Not footsteps exactly, but something heavier, wetter, like bare feet slapping against tile, moving fast. At first, I thought it was just someone drunk, maybe running from security, but then I realized the sound wasn't coming from outside my room, it was inside the walls. I pressed my ear to the cold plaster. My skin crawled instantly. Something was moving parallel to me, just on the other side. A scraping, a low grunt, followed by that awful wet slap. Slap, slap. The air felt heavy, stale, like the hallway itself had exhaled into my lungs. By 4 a.m., I forced myself to peek through the peephole. The corridor stretched out in both directions, silent and empty. The buzzing lights flickered once, twice, and for a fraction of a second, I thought I saw something crouched far down the hall. Long arms, twisted legs, the shape shifted as the light came back on, and it was gone. I told myself I was overtired, jet-lagged, imagining things. But I knew the truth when I lay back in bed. The sound didn't stop. Something was running in that hotel, something I wasn't supposed to see, and I could swear it stopped right outside my door. The silence was worse than the noise. My heart pounded so hard, I thought it might break through my ribs. I held my breath, waiting for a knock, waiting for the handle to turn, but nothing came. When I finally closed my eyes, I saw it, those yellow eyes, glowing against the dark. And I knew it had seen me too. The next night, I tried to convince myself it had just been exhaustion, a trick of my mind. But when the clock crept past 3 in the morning, I was already sitting awake in bed, staring at the door, waiting. And it came. The sound, faster this time. Slap, 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 echoing through the hallway, closer and closer, like something sprinting on all fours. My blood ran cold. I held my breath, praying it would pass by, but the moment it reached my door, it stopped again. The silence was suffocating. I reached for my phone, desperate to call the front desk, but before I could dial, the screen flickered, went black, and died. No battery warning, no glitch, just dead. That's when I noticed the room light. The bulb above me dimmed, humming weakly, like it was fighting to stay alive. I heard breathing. Not my own, low, ragged, wet, right outside the door. I forced myself to look through the peephole. My vision swam, my stomach turned, and I staggered back. Something was there, its face pressed right against the wood, too close for me to see fully. Just pale skin stretched thin over bone, a mouth that opened wider than it should, and those eyes, burning yellow like rotten candles. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in the corner, trembling, waiting for dawn. When the sun finally rose, I stumbled downstairs. The receptionist barely glanced at me, her eyes bloodshot, like she hadn't slept either. My voice cracked when I asked her if the cameras in the hallway were real. She froze, just for a second. Then without looking at me, she whispered, "Don't be in your room after midnight. Not here." That was all she said. I should have left. God, I should have packed my things and walked out right then. But something in me needed proof. Needed to know I wasn't losing my mind. So I waited. That night, I set my phone on record, propped it against the nightstand, pointed at the door. At 4:25 a.m., it came back. The slapping, the growls, the sharp crack of claws dragging against wood. My heart hammered so loud I thought the camera might pick it up. And then, the door handle turned. Slowly, like someone testing it. I froze. Tears stung my eyes. The lock rattled, metal squealing, and then silence. Just when I thought it had gone, I heard it, soft at first, then louder. A whisper, not words I could understand, just a hiss that slid under the crack of the door, wrapping around me, squeezing my chest until I couldn't breathe. When I played back the video later, my blood ran cold. There was nothing outside, No sound, no movement, just me in bed, staring at the door like a corpse propped upright. But for one frame, just one, a face filled the screen, hollow eyes, a gaping mouth, and it was smiling. I didn't leave the hotel. I can't explain why. Maybe I was too afraid to move. Maybe I was trapped in something bigger than me the moment I stepped through those doors. But the truth, I think it wanted me to stay. The third night, I barricaded the door with the desk, the chair, even the mattress. I kept every light on. I told myself if it comes back, it won't get in. But deep down, I knew walls, locks, furniture, none of it mattered. At 3:47 a.m., the lights flickered. Not just in my room, through the entire building. I heard doors slamming one after another, far down the hall, like something was tearing through each room, closer and closer. My chest locked up. I pressed myself against the wall, covering my mouth, shaking so hard the floor seemed to vibrate beneath me. And then, silence. Until my phone buzzed. The screen glowed, even though the battery had been dead for hours. A new video notification. The file was named "Look Behind You." I dropped the phone instantly, my pulse screaming in my ears. But before it hit the carpet, I felt it, warm breath sliding across the back of my neck. I turned. It was there. Crawling out of the corner, its body folded unnaturally, arms bending backward, fingers dragging across the walls, peeling strips of wallpaper as it moved. Its eyes locked on me, glowing like twin lanterns in the dark. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. It lunged. The barricade toppled like paper. The desk split, the chair snapped, and before I could run, it was inches away. Its face hovered over mine, mouth opening wider and wider until I thought it would swallow me whole. The smell of rot poured into my lungs, burning my throat. And then, nothing. I woke up in the lobby at dawn, sitting in one of the broken chairs. No memory of how I got there. My clothes were damp, like I'd been dragged through water. The receptionist was gone, the desk abandoned. I stumbled outside into the daylight. For the first time, I thought maybe it was over. Maybe I had survived. But when I checked my phone, my blood froze. There was a new folder in my gallery. Hundreds of photos, each one of me. Sleeping, different angles, different nights, always from the corner of my room. The last photo was from the hallway. My door wide open. And in the frame, just behind me, those yellow eyes staring into the lens. I deleted the files, smashed the phone, left the hotel behind me. But I can't run from it, not really. Because every night since then, no matter where I sleep, I wake up at 4:25 a.m. and I hear it. Slap, 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 right outside my door.
Subscribe to Horror Story Bar.